Joining us now is President of the Centre of the American Experiment, John Hinderaker. John, thank you so much for your time. Let's talk about this shutdown. Democrats and Republicans failed to reach an agreement by Tuesday night's deadline, and the US government is now partially shut down. Karoline Leavitt has recorded a message on the White House comment line, absolutely torching Democrats over the shutdown. Listen to this.
Thank you for calling the White House comment line.
Hello, America. This is White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt. Democrats in Congress have shut down the federal government because they care more about funding health care for illegal immigrants than they care about serving you, the American people. Until Democrats vote for the clean, Republican-backed continuing resolution to reopen the government, the White House is unable to answer your call or respond to your questions. We look forward to hearing from you again very soon. And in the meantime, please know President Trump will never stop fighting for you. Thank you, and God bless you.
John, I think their communication strategy just never misses. But talk to us about the shutdown and how this is going to play out.
Well, what Karoline Leavitt said, of course, is correct. The Democrats have shut down the government. They filibustered the Republicans' bill to keep the government open for the next several weeks. And what they're trying to do is to force the Republicans to spend more than $1 trillion in new money, including funding of health care for all illegal immigrants. They're trying to reverse legislation that was passed less than 2 months ago, voted for by the American people and passed by majorities in the House and the Senate. And of course, the Republicans aren't going along with that. So this is really shut down theater. The Democrats are playing to their radical base. They're trying to show that they're tough. They're fighting President Trump and so on. And in the meantime, Trump is saying that, well, if we don't have any money for a while here, I'm going to do a significant reduction in force. We're going to eliminate a large number of federal jobs, which of course is something that we conservatives would love to see.
Now, the president has cancelled nearly $8 billion in climate funding to blue states. The Office of Management and Budget Director Russell Vought wrote nearly $8 billion in green new scam funding to fuel the left's climate agenda is being cancelled. And the funding cuts, I should say, are cutting around 15 projects to about 15 states. And we're still learning more about those details. Critics argue that this is politically motivated, but the White House defends this as a step to curbing what it sees as absolutely excessive spending on programs that support this Democrat climate agenda, John.
Yeah, this is spending for wind and solar energy and hydrogen. It's no secret that the Trump administration considers that wasteful, foolish spending and is trying to stop it. The Department of Energy put out a press release less than an hour ago, and it explained some of these cuts. And about half of these dollars are taking back grants that were made by the Biden administration between Donald Trump's election and his inauguration. So they knew they were getting thrown out of office, and they awarded, I don't know, 15 or $20 billion in these energy grants. And much of the money went to Democratic Party activists and even Democratic Party politicians. It is a scandal. And now the Department of Energy is canceling some of those grants as well as some other grants. So that's fundamentally what's going on here.
Let's talk about what's been happening in Portland. There's been certainly chaos around the ICE detention centre in Portland. Just night after night, Antifa thugs have been taking to the streets, blasting loud music, engaging in anti-government chants over loudspeakers and megaphones, and clashing with law enforcement. And just looking at the vision each day, some of it has been wild to see. And in the latest vision that's come to our attention, we've been seeing some of these thugs taking to the streets, waving foreign flags. Look at this. also the American flag being flown upside down. Can I get your reaction?
Well, Antifa is a violent communist organization that is viciously anti-American. They have been rioting in Portland for 5 years now, going back to 2020. They have rioted now 100 nights in a row outside the main ICE immigration facility in Portland. And they're assaulting passersby and they're battling police and so on. And the Portland city authorities, who are all liberals, are all Democrats, are doing nothing to stop this violent communist activity. And so President Trump has finally had enough, and he's called out a few hundred Oregon National Guardsmen, and he's sending them to Portland to protect federal facilities and federal employees as they are trying to do their job.
Finally, John, I want to talk to you about Greta Thunberg. She has once again failed in her attention-seeking mission to support Hamas. Greta Thunberg and other activists have been detained after the Israeli Navy intercepted the latest flotilla. Now, John, this comes just days after President Trump presented a 20-point peace plan to bring the war in Gaza to an end. Yet there has been silence from all these pro-Palestine groups that claim they want peace. Now, as for Greta Thunberg, this stunt of hers has once again failed, and it was always going to.
It was always going to. I don't think there are very many people left who haven't caught on to Greta Thunberg. I think her act has worn very thin. And as far as Hamas is concerned, these people, Thunberg and the rest, falsely claim that there's a genocide going on in Gaza. Here they have an opportunity to end the genocide, and they won't do it, right?
Yeah.
They insist on continuing the war. And that gives you a pretty good idea of what's really going on. These people say we're bringing supplies to Gaza. Gaza is overflowing with supplies. The problem is that if people try to take the supplies, the Hamas gunmen will shoot them. That's the problem.
It is. President of the Centre of the American Experiment, John Hinderaker, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.